Story 1. Have you ever experienced that unsettling intuition that warns you of imminent danger? That unexplainable feeling that lingers, hinting at an impending catastrophe. It's like sensing an approaching thunderstorm without a single cloud in sight. Let me share a story that perfectly captures that sensation. When I was 15, attempting to earn extra cash on weekends, I frequently found myself dog sitting. I would take care of neighbors' pets, my own family's, and anyone who paid me fairly. One weekend, the Carson family, known for their wealth and opulent lifestyle, approached me to dog sit their husky named Tito. With a driveway adorned with a porch in a 6-bedroom house, the Carsons' affluence was undeniable. Naturally, I accepted the offer, anticipating the generous compensation and gratuity that awaited me. The Carsons planned to be away until Sunday afternoon, and they provided me with detailed instructions for Tito's care. Alongside the instructions, they handed me $50 for dinner and requested that I spend the nights at their place, ensuring Tito wouldn't be left alone. Little did I know, the events that unfolded that fateful Friday night would plunge me into a nightmarish ordeal. Everything seemed unremarkable at first. Tito proved to be a well-behaved dog, obedient and friendly, making the job seem like a breeze. As the evening progressed and a thunderstorm brewed outside, I finished taking Tito for his final walk before bedtime. It was fortunate timing since I had managed to avoid getting drenched. Following Mr. Carson's instructions, I rewarded Tito with a treat and placed him in his cage located in the kitchen. Ensuring the cage was securely locked, I bid Tito goodnight and made my way to the living room. Midnight approached, and I found myself dozing off on the Carsons' plush couch, captivated by a horror movie on their colossal 80-inch TV. The ambience of the storm outside, with thunder and lightning crashing, lulled me into a gentle slumber. At 2 a.m., my eyes snapped open. You know that feeling, that uncanny inkling that something isn't right. It was akin to the protagonist's premonition in the movie Final Destination, where impending doom loomed. I couldn't shake off the sensation that danger lurked nearby. In the dimly lit house, as most lights had been switched off before I retired on the couch, I walked over to the front windows to peer outside. The rain continued to pour relentlessly. Casting a glance around the living room, nothing appeared out of the ordinary or tampered with. However, as I ventured toward the kitchen, I noticed something peculiar. Wet footprints led from the shut front door, stretching into the kitchen. Panic and fear surged within me, presenting two options: to succumb to terror, possibly jeopardizing my life against the intruder who left those footprints, or to remain calm and logical. While my logical side reasoned that the footprints could be mine from earlier, I recalled that it hadn't rained during Tito's last walk. Furthermore, these footprints seemed freshly made, as if someone had traipsed through just minutes ago. Ignoring my better judgment, I resolved to follow the footprints. As I approached the kitchen threshold, I heard faint scuffling sounds accompanied by whimpering pleas, Tito's distress. Fumbling for the light switch, I illuminated the room. What met my eyes was beyond comprehension. Tito had been freed from his cage, his mouth tightly sealed with duct tape and his paws bound together. A man clad in a drenched raincoat stood nearby, struggling to stuff Tito into an open duffel bag. A sudden flicker of lights caused the man in the raincoat to whirl around, his eyes meeting mine. I acted on instinct, grabbing a kitchen knife from a nearby block. My hand trembled as I brandished the weapon, warning the intruder to back away from the defenseless dog. The man's face remained obscured by the hood of his raincoat, but he cautiously raised his hands and took a step back. I reached into my pocket, intending to dial 911 on my cell phone, when the man noticed my intention and swiftly darted past me through the living room and toward the front door. My heart pounding, I pursued him, witnessing his frantic escape into the pouring rain, heading towards a white van parked across the street. Ignoring my own safety, I memorized the license plate as the van whirred to life and sped away. With trembling hands, I locked the front door, swiftly dialed 911, and began freeing Tito from his restraints. Moments later, the police arrived, and I recounted the terrifying ordeal. They informed me that the Carson family had an extensive security camera system, which captured the intruder's van and allowed them to identify the license plate. But what unfolded next was even more astonishing. The perpetrator, as it turned out, was a man named Kevin Shude, an ex-employee of Mr. Carson. Driven by a belief that he had been unjustly fired, Kevin had devised a twisted plan for revenge. Breaking into the Carsons' mansion, he intended to steal Tito and hold him hostage, thus inflicting emotional pain upon the family. However, his plan unraveled when he encountered an unexpected obstacle. I was there, dog-sitting for the weekend, inadvertently thwarting his sinister scheme. Kevin Shude was apprehended and eventually sentenced to 4 years in prison for breaking and entering, as well as the attempted kidnapping of an animal. When Mr. Carson learned how I had prevented Tito's abduction, he expressed his profound gratitude by giving me an exceptionally generous tip, the most substantial I had ever received. Reflecting on the entire ordeal, I realized the moral of the story: to trust our instincts when that gut feeling arises, warning us that something is awry. Our primal survival instinct guides us, enabling us to navigate dangerous situations. It's a reminder to listen to our intuition and make decisions that prioritize our safety and well-being. So, if you ever experience that nagging sensation, That inexplicable feeling that danger looms nearby, pay attention. It might just save you from a horrific fate. Trust your instincts, use them as a compass, and remain vigilant in the face of the unexpected. Story 2. Have you ever been young, dumb, and in love? Or better yet, have you ever been young, dumb, in love, and hunted by a psycho? If you haven't, then listen closely to this harrowing tale that took place back in 2021. My parents had gone away for the weekend to celebrate their 18th wedding anniversary, leaving me, their 17-year-old only child, in charge of the house. They explicitly instructed me not to have any friends over, but being young and foolish, I immediately called my girlfriend and invited her to stay with me. When my girlfriend arrived that evening, we indulged in our shared love for smoking weed. We rolled a joint in the living room and ventured out to the woods behind my house, a picturesque rural area with rolling hills and limited neighbors. As we found a spot against tall trees, raindrops began to fall, and I noticed an approaching thunderstorm. I remarked about it, but my girlfriend interrupted me, fixated on something in the distance. She claimed she saw someone watching us from the woods. I brushed it off as a hallucination caused by the weed, urging her to come back inside before we got drenched by the rain. Once back indoors, the thunder roared and the rain battered against the house. We changed into more comfortable clothes and decided to watch a scary movie settling on Poltergeist. Halfway through, my girlfriend got up to get a glass of water from the kitchen, which faced the backyard woods. Suddenly, she let out a piercing scream that jolted me into action. I rushed to the kitchen, finding her pointing at the window, claiming to have seen the same person from earlier standing outside, peering in. Uncertainty and fear gripped me as I peered outside but failed to see anyone in the stormy darkness. I reassured her that the house was secure, attributing her sighting to the effects of the weed. Attempting to regain a sense of normalcy, we returned to the living room to finish the movie. However, exhaustion took its toll, and we both dozed off on the couch before the film's conclusion. At some point during the night, I woke abruptly, the TV still on and my girlfriend sleeping beside me. It wasn't the TV or her soft snores that disturbed me, it was a faint jiggling sound. Anxious, I got up and glanced out of the living room windows, trying to determine the cause. That's when I noticed the handle of my front door being manipulated back and forth. Horror consumed me as the realization dawned that someone was attempting to break into my home. I rushed back to the window, searching for any sign of the intruder. In a moment of clarity, lightning illuminated the area, revealing a man at my front door, picking the lock. Panic gripped me, and I screamed at the top of my lungs, claiming to have a gun and threatening to shoot if he entered. The door slowly creaked open, allowing rain to invade the house. With caution, I approached the doorway and peeked outside, watching the man retreat into the night and vanish into the woods. I swiftly slammed the door shut, securing it with locks and barricading it with furniture for added protection. By the time my girlfriend woke up, startled by my cries, I was already on the phone with emergency services. It took nearly half an hour for the police officer to arrive, and he informed us that there had been a series of break-ins in the area. Our attempted break-in matched the same modus operandi. The suspect targeted front doors, aiming to rob unsuspecting homeowners. Once I finished giving my statement and the officer left, I profusely apologized to my girlfriend for not believing her earlier. She had been right all along. There was a man stalking us, patiently waiting for an opportunity to break in. As I was underage, my parents needed to be notified, and they were understandably upset to learn that I had disobeyed their instructions and had my girlfriend over. However, the severity of the situation seemed to lessen their anger, as they realized the potential danger we had narrowly escaped. Unfortunately, I never received any updates on whether the intruder was apprehended. It was a disconcerting thought that he might still be out there, posing a threat to others. The incident served as a wake-up call for both my girlfriend and me. We became more vigilant about our safety and made sure to follow my parents' rules when they were away. Months passed, and the fear gradually subsided. Yet, the memory of that stormy night lingered, a constant reminder of the fragility of our peace and security. It taught me valuable lessons about responsibility and the consequences of disregarding rules, as well as the importance of trusting and supporting the people you care about. In the aftermath of the incident, my girlfriend and I grew closer, bonding over our shared experience. We leaned on each other for comfort and reassurance, finding solace in the fact that we had faced a terrifying ordeal together and emerged stronger. Our love deepened as we navigated the lingering anxiety and worked together to rebuild our sense of security. Years have passed since that haunting night, and I'm grateful that it remains just a memory, a reminder of the dangers that can lurk in the shadows. It serves as a cautionary tale to others, urging them to be mindful of their surroundings and to take necessary precautions to protect themselves and their loved ones. The events of that stormy weekend have forever shaped my perspective on youth, love, and the darkness that can infiltrate even the most idyllic moments. It serves as a reminder to cherish the moments of peace and happiness we have and to stay vigilant in the face of potential threats. While the scars of that night may never fully fade, they serve as a constant reminder of our resilience and the unbreakable bond forged through a shared experience of fear and survival. In the years that followed, my girlfriend and I often revisited that harrowing night, reflecting on the lessons we had learned and the growth that came from it. We became advocates for personal safety and started sharing our story with others, emphasizing the importance of trusting our instincts and being aware of our surroundings. The incident also prompted us to become more proactive in our community. We participated in local neighborhood watch programs and organized awareness campaigns to educate others about home security measures and the dangers of complacency. Through these efforts, we aim to create a safer environment for everyone, knowing firsthand the vulnerability that comes with a false sense of security. Over time, the fear and anxiety that had plagued us began to dissipate. We found solace in taking self-defense classes together, empowering ourselves with the knowledge and skills to protect ourselves if ever faced with a similar situation. These classes not only provided practical tools but also served as a way to reclaim our sense of agency and regain confidence. As we grew older and embarked on separate paths, the memory of that stormy night remained a significant milestone in our relationship. It had forged an unbreakable bond between us, rooted in shared trauma and the strength we had discovered within ourselves. We continued to support each other's endeavors, celebrating milestones and offering a shoulder to lean on during challenging times. Sometimes, on quiet evenings, we would sit together and recount the details of that fateful night, not to dwell on the fear, but to remind ourselves of the resilience we had demonstrated and the life lessons we had learned. It became a testament to our ability to overcome adversity, and a symbol of the deep love and trust that had blossomed amidst the darkness. Looking back, I'm grateful for the series of events that unfolded on that stormy weekend. While it was undoubtedly a terrifying experience, it shaped us into individuals who are more cautious, prepared, and appreciative of the safety and security we have. It taught us the value of trust, communication, and the importance of listening to our instincts. Today, as I recount this story, I hope that it serves as a reminder to others to never underestimate the potential dangers that can exist, even in the most serene moments. I urge everyone to prioritize personal safety, to trust their intuition, and to take necessary precautions to protect themselves and their loved ones. By doing so, we can create a world where moments of fear and vulnerability are transformed into opportunities for growth, resilience, and the strengthening of the human spirit. Story 3. Once the incident was over and the children were safe, the experience continued to haunt me. It made me question the boundaries between imagination and reality, and it deepened my understanding of the fears that children can have. I couldn't help but wonder what would have happened if Corey and Chelsea hadn't spoken up or if I had dismissed their concerns again. As time went on, I developed a newfound appreciation for the power of intuition and the importance of validating the fears and anxieties of children. I realized that it was crucial to create a safe space where they felt comfortable sharing their thoughts and concerns. This incident served as a reminder that as adults, we need to listen and support children, even if their fears seem irrational to us. I continued babysitting, but the memory of that stormy night stayed with me. It made me more vigilant and cautious, always ensuring the safety and security of the children under my care. I took extra precautions, such as checking all doors and windows before nightfall, and I educated myself on emergency protocols and self-defense techniques. Word of the incident spread within the community, and I received messages of support and encouragement from neighbors and friends. Some shared their own experiences of unsettling encounters, and we bonded over our shared determination to keep our children safe. This incident acted as a catalyst for a neighborhood watch program, where we organized regular meetings to discuss safety measures and looked out for each other's children. Over time, Corey and Chelsea's trust in me grew stronger. They began to confide in me about their other fears and worries, knowing that I would take them seriously. We developed a deep bond based on mutual respect and open communication. They no longer saw me as just a babysitter, but as someone they could rely on in times of need. As the years passed, I moved on from babysitting and pursued a career in child psychology. I felt a calling to help children overcome their fears and traumas, ensuring that they never feel dismissed or unheard. I used my own experience as a cautionary tale, emphasizing the importance of validating children's emotions and creating a supportive environment where they can thrive. Looking back, that stormy night served as a turning point in my life. It ignited a passion within me to advocate for the safety and well-being of children. I became involved in community initiatives, volunteering at local schools and organizing workshops on child safety. My goal was to empower both children and their caregivers with knowledge and tools to navigate potential dangers. Though the memory of the man in the tree remained unsettling, it also fueled my determination to make a positive impact. I dedicated my life to protecting and nurturing the younger generation, ensuring that their voices are heard and their fears are addressed. I wanted to be a source of comfort and guidance for children who might have experienced similar encounters or traumatic events. In the end, the incident served as a reminder that safety is not something to be taken for granted. It taught me to trust my instincts, listen to the concerns of children, and take immediate action when necessary. Above all, it reinforced the importance of creating a world where children feel safe, valued, and heard, a world where their imaginations are celebrated, but their fears are taken seriously. As I reflect on this chapter of my life, I carry the lessons learned from that stormy night with me. It shaped me into a compassionate advocate for children's safety and well-being, reminding me that we have a collective responsibility to protect the innocence and vulnerability of our youngest generation. Together, we can create a world where children's imaginations flourish, free from the shadows of the boogeyman and filled with the joy of being young and carefree. In the years that followed the incident, my dedication to child safety and well-being only deepened. I pursued further education in child psychology and trauma therapy, seeking to better understand the complex inner world of children and how to help them heal from frightening experiences. I joined organizations focused on child advocacy, collaborating with experts in the field and participating in research projects aimed at improving child protection measures. The impact of that stormy night reached far beyond my personal journey. The local community, inspired by our Neighborhood Watch program, initiated discussions about implementing safety protocols in schools and public spaces. We organized workshops and seminars, inviting parents, teachers, and law enforcement officers to join forces in ensuring the security of our children. The incident also led to the formation of a support group for parents and caregivers who had faced similar challenges or were struggling with their own fears after hearing about what happened. It became a safe space for sharing stories, offering emotional support, and learning practical strategies for keeping their children safe. The group fostered a sense of solidarity and empowered its members to become proactive advocates in their own right. Media outlets became interested in our story, and I had that opportunity to share my experiences in interviews and articles. This exposure raised public awareness about the importance of listening to children, fostering open dialogue, and implementing preventative measures to safeguard them. The community's response was overwhelmingly positive, with many expressing their gratitude for shedding light on a critical issue. As time went on, I became involved in larger-scale initiatives, collaborating with organizations dedicated to child protection on a regional and even national level. Together, we worked on developing comprehensive safety guidelines for schools, homes, and public spaces, emphasizing the importance of risk assessment, emergency preparedness, and age-appropriate education for children on personal safety. In addition to my professional endeavors, I continued to keep in touch with Corey and Chelsea, who were now teenagers. Our bond had evolved into a lifelong friendship, and I remained a trusted mentor for them as they navigated the challenges of adolescence. We often reflected on that stormy night, marveling at how it had shaped all our lives and the positive changes it had sparked. The incident served as a catalyst for my own personal growth and transformation as well. It made me realize the profound impact a single event can have and the responsibility we have as individuals to make a difference. It instilled in me a sense of purpose and a commitment to advocating for the rights and safety of children, not only in my immediate community but beyond. As I reflect on this extended journey, I am grateful for the lessons learned and the opportunities that emerged from a terrifying encounter. It taught me the power of resilience, compassion, and community in overcoming adversity. Most importantly, it reaffirmed the importance of believing children, valuing their voices, and creating a world where they can grow and thrive without fear. In closing, I encourage everyone to take a moment to reflect on the children in their lives and the profound impact they have on shaping our collective future. Let us all be vigilant guardians, actively listening to their concerns, protecting their innocence, and working tirelessly to ensure their safety. Together, we can create a world where every child can embrace their wildest imaginations and dreams, free from the shadows of fear and uncertainty.